Alright, so, it is the end of the world. Um, so I'm working on an academic, sort of intellectual, philosophical, save the world stuff, right? Now here's the big picture of what I've been sort of looking for a while. And it's a room with a view, okay? A little below me on a chicken. A chicken for me rooster, right? So the concept is that I'm working on these maps, and I do a lot of poetry, and I try to like make the poetry evolve because there's only so many forms of perfection that you can really take. So to study your charts, this is how great discoveries are made with a lot. The movie 1492, Christopher Columbus, he takes a vow of silence, and you see him out there on the capes of Western Europe, and there's all these maps in the breeze blowing. It's warm, and he's just wandering, looking, just studying and studying. And so this is what the unified social theory is like, with the poetry, with the unified architectural theory. That's the great escape. So there's all these constant, vacuum sort of yin yang sort of things where you look at the sociology and you're like, oh, that's like scary. Let's go over to the architecture, So this is like consumerism saying, oh, society's scary, so let's go off shopping and stuff like that. And it's been going on for thousands of years. It seems like perhaps the Chinese have cracked it, but they're simply the supplier. And they still, it's based on their geography, it seems, because they have control. They're these blocked rivers that you can't navigate. Whereas Europe has the navigated rivers, and America, and then Panama, sort of brought it together, but it, the old dream was for the East and West to actually meet. And so transportation gets a lot of jump to a lot of, say, bounce, I guess, but we can't be jumping around like animals, or otherwise it's not a civilization. So anyways, the charts, okay, so I get off into these tangents, of just how you're constantly escaping. So from the architecture, you might say, well, what about that sociology? But maybe there's a general theory there, so the normal to the to the structure, to the general normal structure. You know what I'm saying, right? It's these three-dimensional things, and there's of course another dimension out there, the fourth dimension, time, which is what I'm waiting for. I'm trying to be like got my antics. I'm with one hand tied to a camera. All right, so I think I might have pressed the button there. Yes, exactly. One hand tied, one hand hung up. So, I'm trying to like find uh, the way to make this happen, so that it really boils down to the formula, which is really important, is basically printing off a bunch of like the stuff that I've done, other stuff. So it's not just about me for sure, but that would be nice. only if one can recompose it, can synthesize all the other relevant knowledge and have it available. Some squeaking noise, sorry. So have it available to do such, to actually say, there it is, to one of those things where you just like if I'm in a room with a knotty pine ceiling, I'll look for the faces, and that is not good, because pure like random nature is not, that's not even tea leaves right there. But you have all these, all these sort of philosophical theories, and if you can study, if you can have them basically big enough to see from a distance, you're sitting in bed, you're a crib of thought, and you're, a vow of a vow of the future, emotional sort of jubilation, right? Because this is just possible to find this this new world reflection that I've first sort of realized when I went to the old world, my ancestral world. I was trying to focus on something. I couldn't focus. I was coming up with all this crazy California stuff, from Charlie Chaplin and beyond. And when I came out here, I was able to do that, but then I found that the architectural escape was ever great out here because architecture is a bit, well, it's a problem worldwide, really. I mean, ecology and architecture together, healthcare, but the old, the really not so modern old world, someplace like Britain, Ireland. It's really a cultural, civil reality, I guess, right? So I went back to America after this 5 months of studying, and I was running through these sort of people that I'd known in college and stuff like that, and I was running through this, and then I went back and I got a Sociology 2 book, because I'd taken Sociology 1, the only class sociology I've ever taken. I got the textbook, and I started looking up stuff, and for years I was buying books, and I'd always be losing them. Actually, before I even went, I copied some videos, college studies, and all this stuff is just disappears because my dad throws everything away. Anything that means a lot to me, like this data, it's subconscious game on or something like that. I mean, they just don't. People don't want to realize there's any difference in the new world. It's just ooh, isn't it wonderful type of flower power type of thing. After the flower comes the seed, and then the sprout, and then what then? Because this ecology in the walls, I suppose. Here, Okay, so I need to like put that all together. So where I have these charts going on, where I have basically like a suit or something. You have a little suitcase where you're it's all these like posters, and it's something that you could order very easily. So it's nothing original. It's just maybe last. Hey. Sorry, I talked to a topic. So this chart is basically writing the book to save the future. My hair does look good, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so I need to do that, and I need to have like some place where I can do it. And believe me, I'd much rather be like a normal person, right? Just a normal job with friends and all that. And that is my goal. Okay, is to have a normal life. If I turn out to be some famous writer, poet, sociological philosopher, fine. But it's what runs in the family is more like inventions of the architectural type. So this is something, I'm chasing a star, and it just happens to be the sun is the biggest, brightest star out there. And so I have to think of the world, not just my world, but that three-dimensional spatial equation that actually can develop flow. So it's sort of like That's a fission machine or a fusion. I forget the two. It's like secular. I don't know what that means really. So it's like one of those one of those machines that doesn't produce radioactive waste. I think it's fusion or fission. You know what I'm talking about. Helium-3. That's on the moon, right? So, but it's philosophy, okay? So it's something where people get it going, where one sort of person carrying a torch lit by the sun, right? At the right everything, somehow the right angles, sort of the right notes, and psychologically this is impossible, okay? Because once I've thought it, it's not possible anymore, and no one else seems to either be willing or able to do it. So sad, but that was that, I guess. So yeah, it's not nice just to to bury it, because that it helps me a lot to know that it's totally impossible. So yeah, exactly. Wonderful, huh? Okay. Thanks.